Hello and welcome to Singapore Math Course 2A, 1.4 Subtracting Integers. Before we begin this independent practice, let me remind you to watch 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3, the chapters before this, so that you have understood the basic concepts before you start solving this chapter. So let's begin. Here we have evaluate each expression. So it says 7 minus 18. How do we solve this? So you do the reverse process. You don't do 7 minus 18. You do 18 minus 7, which is equal to 11. And because our bigger number, the greater number is 18, which is with a minus sign, we will put a minus sign here. And that's how we solve this. So we have similar questions here. Following questions are almost similar, and we will be going faster over it. Again, you see, you do the reverse. 30 minus 20, which is 10. And because we have this negative sign here, we are going to put negative sign from there. So that's the answer. These questions are quite simple, right? Now, we do the reverse again. 109 minus 53, which is 56. Here, how do we do this? 9 minus 3 gives us 6 here. And then it's 10 here, and minus 5 gives us 5 over here. Okay, so that's how you can solve these questions. And here it's minus, so we are going to put a minus sign here. So this is also done. Now the next one. Here, now we have two signs over here. We have minus here and we have minus here. And you remember the rule, right? So when we do minus times minus, the answer should be plus, right? So we do 45, and this is minus times minus. So we add it. So it is basically 45 plus 16, which is equal to 61. So this is 11. This gives us 11, right? 5 plus 6. So we put 1 here and we get 1 carry here. So 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. So that's how you get your answer, 61. Next, we are going quite fast, right? Because it is simple. Now notice well, this is minus 7. We keep it as it is. And here we have minus times minus, which makes it plus. So it's minus 7 plus 5. And you know the answer is minus 2. Fine. Next, minus 94, because it's a minus number, and again you have minus times minus, so you do plus 68 over here. And what's the answer to this? The answer to this is 26, and we're going to put a minus sign, the sign of the larger number here. Let's go fast. Now we have all minuses over here, so we are going to add all of them and then put a minus sign. So easy to add is 12 plus 8 makes it 20, and then 20 plus 6 makes it 26. So the answer is 26 with a minus sign. Again, as we had the previous question, all of them are negative numbers, right? So let's add them. So 23 plus 7 makes it 30, and 30 plus 17 will make it 47. And a minus sign. Very important. Remember to put this minus sign, otherwise your answer is going to be wrong. So even while you are adding these numbers, you have to watch out for the clues, as I always say, because 23 plus 7 was much easier for me to add and make it 30. Let's go to the next one. Now we have minus 8. We'll write it minus 8, and this minus 5. We put it here. And now here, if you look, you have two minuses here, right? So minus times minus basically. So we are going to make it plus 4 over here. So how much is this? 8 plus 5 is 13 with a minus sign, plus 4. So minus 13 plus 4 makes it 9 with a minus sign. Okay? Now it's the same kind of the question as we had. So we put minus 5 and minus 6 here. And this number here, because we have minus times minus, right? That makes it plus 10. So this is 5 and 6 is 11 with a minus sign because both of them are negative numbers, plus 10 over here. So minus 11 plus 10 is 1 with a minus sign. These are really quick questions, right? Again, a similar one, minus 20 as it is. Now, in this both the places you have minus minus, right? So minus times minus makes it positive. So that's 16. And again, plus 7. So now what is the answer? This is minus 20 as it is. And this 16 plus 7 is 23. And that is nothing but 3, right? So you subtract, basically how do you do? Larger minus smaller. And you put the answer and put the sign of the larger, which is positive. So we leave it 3 over here. So quickly we are on question 12. Wow. So again, minus 11 as it is. This will be plus 8 and this will be plus 14. So that is minus 11. 8 plus 14 is 22. And this is, 11 times 1 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. So the difference is 11. And the sign of the larger number. So it is a positive answer. Let's go to the next question. Now this question says, evaluate the distance between each pair of integers. So what is the distance? And to find that, there are two ways. So one of the ways is we find the absolute value. And how do we do that? So 4 minus 20, you're finding distance, and that's why you put this minus sign over here. Okay, so that is minus 16. And distance is never negative and it's an absolute value, right? So we say the distance is 16. If you want, you can also do it on a number line. So basically this is your number line, right? You are at 4. To reach to 20, how do we reach to 20 here? You will have to add 16, right? So how do you know that? So 20 minus 4 is 16. So the distance between these two numbers is 16. So likewise, we have 5 more questions to be done. Now it is the distance between 16 and 52. So let's go this route. 16 and 52, right? Which is equal to, the answer is minus 36 over here, right? So if you want, you can confirm here. 52 minus 16. From 2, 6 cannot go. So this is 4 and 1 here. So 12 minus 6 is 6. 4 minus 1 is 3. And as we said, this is a absolute value and the distance cannot be negative. So this is the answer here. Okay, let's do 4 more and then this type of questions will be done. Now you have minus 15 and 36. So it's minus 15 and 36. Okay, now you add them basically because they both are negative. So 5 plus 6 is 11. So we write 1 here and we give carry 1 here. So 1 plus 3 plus 1 makes it 5. And it is supposed to be 51. So even if you want to do this on number line, basically, let's say this is 0 here. And that's minus 15. And here it is somewhere, let's say 36. So from minus 15 to 0, you will need 15, right? And from 0 to 36, you need 36. So basically, it's 15 and 36. So 1, 1, 5. So that's exactly what you have here. So either of the ways, you can do it. Now it's again minus 7 and 41. So we do minus 7 and minus 41 like this, which is equal to 41 plus 7 is 48, which is 48. So the distance is 48. Now let's go to the next one. Now both are negative numbers over here. Okay, so how do we do this? Minus 28, and because it's distance, we say minus and we put minus 3 over here. So which is minus 28. This becomes plus 3, right? Minus times minus. You remember the rule, right? Which is plus. So this is minus 25 over here, and that becomes 25, right? Even on the number line, if you want to do it here. So if you are here at minus 3 and you want to reach here at minus 28, how many steps do you need to come here? You need to come 25 steps, because you will do 28 minus 3, which is 25. Simple. The next one, and then that's the last on the list. So the same thing, minus 19 minus 8, which is minus 19 plus 8, which is minus, how much is it? Yes, 11. And that's the distance is 11. Okay, and we move to the next question. Now these questions here are the word problems or the story problems, and for this it is very important that we read it very well, underline the important information. So what does it say? Ryan lives to go skiing in Burlington, Vermont, when the temperature is minus 4 degrees Celsius. The temperature drops 10 degrees when a cold front moves in. What is the new temperature? So this is what we have to find. So we can solve this in many ways. Let's try to write important information over here, right? So the initial temperature was minus 4 degrees Celsius. Then the temperature drop. Now remember, rise and drop, okay? When you say temperature drops, it goes down further, and that is, if this is already minus, it will become minus something more to it, right? So we are going to say the drop was how much? Minus 10 degrees. I'm putting minus sign here because it's a drop. Okay, so we are supposed to find the new temperature. So how do we find this? So you have to simply add this two and you get minus 14 degrees Celsius, right? So why are we adding? Let's try to understand this on a number line. Okay, now you are at minus 4 here. Now it's dropping. When you say drop, you move to left on the number line. And how much are you moving? You're moving down by 10. So 10 plus 4 is 14, right? And that's minus. So that's how you get your minus 14 as the answer. Okay, so that's how you solve this question. Next one, what does it say? The water level of the Dead Sea dropped. It dropped from 390 meters below the sea level in 1930 to 420 meters below the sea level. It is dropping. Where was it? What was the level? From 390. Now the new level is 423. By how much did the water level drop from 1930 to 2010? So let's try to do this on a number line first. Usually we solve it and then move to number line, right? So this time we are going to be on the number line first. So it says it was at minus 390, right? Below sea level. So that's minus. Now what's the new one? It is at minus 423. So what's the difference between these two numbers? So it's basically 423 minus 390, right? So that here is 3. I can't do this. I'm going to borrow one here, and that's 3. And this is 0. So the difference between the two is 33. So how much it has dropped? It has dropped by 33 over here. If you want to do it other way, you simply say minus 390 minus, because you're finding the distance, right? And the next number is again a minus number over here. So it is minus 390 and this becomes plus 423, which is nothing but 33. This you can do mentally also, like 390 over here, right? So if you add 10, you will get 400, right? And this number here, if you take out 23, you'll get 400, right? Or from 400 to 23, you add it and you reach over here. So this is 10 and this is 23. That gives you 33 as you have it here. So this is a way to do mental math, okay? Now moving to the next one. We are going really fast. These questions are quite easy, right? Miss Davis has only $420 in her bank account. Describe how to find amount in her account after she writes a check for $590. She has only 420 and she's writing a check for 590. Not right. But let's do the question. So you have, and you are taking out or you're writing a check for 590. So that's how you solve it. And what's the difference between the two numbers? It is like 90 minus 20 is 70 and 5 minus 4 is 1. And we are going to put a minus sign because our bigger number is this, right? So she is running low on her balance. She's going negative. So that's the answer. And that's how we find how much amount she has in her account. The next here. Kevin has trouble simplifying. Kevin needs to watch this video, so maybe he should come to you for help. Write an explanation to help him. So how do we help him? Can you help him? So what he has to do? He should first write 15 as it is, and he has to solve this, right? So minus times minus is plus, and then you write 36, and the answer to this will be 5 plus 6 is 11, so 1 here and 1 over here, carry forward, right? And that's 51. So what explanation will we write for him? We just have to help him understand this part, that minus times minus is plus, and that's what he needs to do, and then he'll get this equation over here, and then the answer. It's simple. The next one. The lowest point in North America is in Death Valley, California, which is 86 meters below, right? So it is minus 86. Sea level at its lowest point. The highest point in Denali, a mountain in Alaska with an elevation of 6198 meters above sea level. So this one is going to be a positive because it is above sea level. What is the difference between their elevation? So it's basically, if you're on a number line, you are here at minus 86. Let's say the 0 is here, and then 6198. Of course, this tells you how you're supposed to do, right? So from minus 86 to 0, you will need 86, and from 0 to reach here, you need 6198. So basically, you have to add 6198 and 86. 8 plus 6 is 14, 4 here, 1 carry. 1 plus 9 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 1 carried again. 1 plus 1 is 2 and 6. So that's the answer. Question 24. Miss Scott has two freezers. Freezer A keeps frozen foods at a temperature of minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit, while freezer B keeps frozen foods at a temperature of minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit. She transferred a package of frozen food from one freezer to the other. Why did she do that? Never mind, let's just help her. What is the temperature difference between two freezers? You know, when you're finding the difference, basically you're finding the distance, and it's much easier with a number line. So let's do it here. This is minus 4 and this one is minus 20, right? So at minus 4, it's freezer B, and at minus 4, it's freezer A. Now, to find the difference, it's basically identifying the difference between these two, right? So from minus 20 to minus 4, how much jump you need? Or minus 4 to minus 20, what's the jump? It's basically 16, right? So the difference between the two is 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Now here we're not going to put a plus or a minus sign because we are doing the difference. So basically finding the distance between the two. The next, if the temperature of the package rises after the transfer, you know what it means, right? It's rising. From which freezer was the package taken? Now looking at this number line here, I'm sure you can figure it out that the package was transferred from A to B, right? Because this is minus 20 and this is minus 4. So the temperature is this way, it's called rising. And if it was going this way, it is dropping basically. So the package was transferred from freezer A to freezer B. Next, you and a friend are playing a video game. Your score so far is 340 points. And your friend's score? Minus 220. That means you are really good at playing video games. You need to even get good at math now. What is the difference between the score? So how are we going to do this? Yes, number line works, right? So let's go here. Let's say this is 340, your score basically, right? And let's say this is 220, which is your friend's score, right? And somewhere here it's 0. So now from minus 220 to 0, you will need a jump of 220. And from 0 again to 340, you need a jump of 340. So basically you are adding them, right? So 40 and 20 gives us 60, and 3 and 2 gives us 5. So the difference is, if you want to solve it without a number line, how are you going to do it? So you will write 340, which is your score, and because you're finding difference, you're going to write a minus sign, and your friend's score, which is 220, which is 340 plus 220, and answer is 560. So that's the difference between the two scores. The next, to record low monthly temperatures for Anchorage, Alaska was minus 34 degree Fahrenheit in January and 31 degree Fahrenheit in August. Huge shift, minus 34 to 31. Find the difference. So you know what you're doing, right? Help me here. Yes, I'll write here 31. Let me write here minus 34 and 0 somewhere here. This is 34, right? This jump, and this jump is 31. So what's the answer? 4 plus 1 is 5. 3 plus 3 is 6. So that's the answer. Or if you do it this way, how are we going to do? Minus 34, difference is minus, and this is 31, right? So minus 34 and minus 31, right? So we are going to add them, which is 65 with the minus sign in the absolutes, and that is 65 over here. Let's go to the next one. Town X is 120 feet above the sea level. So here you have 3 towns, right? So let's try to put it in a diagrammatic form here. Okay, so let's say this is our 0. Town X will be somewhere here, right? 120. It's above, right? So it is on the positive side. Town Y is 25 feet below. So let's say this is minus 25, and that's town Y. Then you have town Z, which is 30 feet below again, so it is minus, right? It's below. How high is? Now they have asked you 3 questions under this, right? So let's solve each one. The first one says town X above town Y. So from here to here, what's the difference? So that is this difference and this difference, right? So basically what will you do? You are going to add 120 and 25, and that is 145. That's how you get that answer over there. If you want to put it like this, so it's 120 minus 25, right? This minus is because we are finding the distance over here. So that's 120, and that minus becomes plus, and that's again 145. So either through number line or through absolute value method. Now it is town Y and town Z. That's quite simple to figure it out, right? Because we are talking about this, and looking at it only, we know the distance is 5. And the last one, town X and town Z. Now from here to here, as we did in the first question, it's same thing. 120 minus 30, because town Z is at minus 30. And that's 120 plus 30, which is 150. Right? Even if you don't want to do it that way, the first 2 questions actually gives the answer, because this is X to Y and this is y to z, right? So actually it is x to z. So if you add them, you're again going to get the same answer. Okay, here comes the next question. It says find 8 minus 12. So they are in the absolute format, right? So we are going to write it here. 8 minus 12, and which is minus 4 in the absolute value, and that is 4. Now the next one, this is 8 absolute value minus the absolute value of 12. So absolute value of 8 is 8, you put the minus sign, and the absolute value of 12 is 12. And the answer is 4, but with a negative sign, because this is negative here, right? So what was happening here? We have different answer. Here we were doing the calculation first and then getting the absolute value. Whereas in this case, we got the absolute value first and then did the calculation. And that's how we have different answers here. The question says, are they same? No, they are not same. Let's go to part B. What does this say? It's again asking you to find the difference. So as we did before, we are doing this again here. So this is 4 and that's 4. Next one, absolute value of 12 minus absolute value of 8, which is 12 minus 8, and that's 4. So these answers are same. And the question says, are they same? Yes, they are. But look carefully here. The process again. What was the calculation here? What did we do? We first did the calculation and then the absolute value. Here we got the absolute value and then the calculation, but still we had the same answer. Okay, look at the numbers here. This was 8 minus 12 and this one is 12 minus 8, and that's why that difference in the answer. So let's look at the part C. What does it say? It says Jake thinks that to find the distance between the two integers m and n, he can write either this or this. Use your answer in A and B to explain why you agree or disagree. Okay, so if we take the same numbers here, okay, as we had 8 and 12, right? So 8 minus 12, let's say it this way, 8 and this is 12. And if we reverse it, this is going to be 12 and this is going to be 8, right? So what happens here? This is 8 minus 12 and this is 12 minus 8. So what's the answer here? It's minus 4 and the answer here is 4. Are these two answers same? No, they are not same. So we do not agree, we disagree. So even if you don't solve this, you can simply look at this here answers and you can figure it out. But solving here helps us. So we do not agree with him. And here we are on the last question. It says, use the data in the following table. Which two gases have boiling points that are closest? When you say the closest, the distance has to be minimum, right? Which one has the least distance? That's what we need to find out. So what are the possible combinations here? So it can be oxygen with hydrogen, it can be hydrogen with nitrogen, and it can be oxygen with nitrogen. I know some of you must be thinking, why do we have science here now? But it's not about science here, it's about math again. And all subjects are interconnected if you understand that. So how are we going to do this? Let's do the answers for each of these combinations that we have. So let's say ONH, oxygen and hydrogen, which is oxygen is 297 minus, and we are finding the distance. So again minus, and the hydrogen is minus 423. So what does this become? Minus 297 plus 423. So what's the answer for this? Do mental math, be smart. So basically adding 3 would make it 300, right? And then you need to add 300 and this difference 100 to get the number 423. So the answer here would be 123. 26. So let's confirm our answer here. 423 minus 297. 3 minus 7 not possible. We cancel this and take 1 here. 13 minus 7 is 6. 1 minus 9 not possible. We go and get carry. So 11 minus 9 is 2 and 3 minus 2 is 1. Confirmed, right? And then the next combination, which is HN. So again, H is minus 423. Distance makes it minus sign here. And N is 321, which is equal to minus 423 plus 321. Now look at the numbers carefully. 23, 21, the difference is 2. And this is 4 and this is 3. So 400 minus 300, which is 100, right? So my answer is going to be 102. That's mental math. Want to confirm your answer? Sure, why not? So we have it 423 minus 321. 2 minus 2 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. Confirmed? Let's go to the last combination, which is oxygen and nitrogen. So we say minus 297 minus 321, right? So this is minus 297 plus 321. Again, use your mental math to go faster. This 3 would make it 300, and from there to go here you need another 21. So your answer is actually 24. Okay, if you want, let's confirm. 321 minus 297. 1 minus 7 not possible, so we get a carry. 11 minus 7 is 4. 1 minus 9 not possible, again we get the carry. 11 minus 9 is 2, and this is 0. So that's the answer. So we have 3 answers over here, right? 126, 24, and 102. So what's the answer? We just said this has to be the least, right? So the least one is this. Okay? So those are the 2 gases, oxygen and nitrogen, that have the closest boiling points. With this, we are done with the independent practice exercise. And I'm sure this is helping you. You're really getting good at it. Do come and watch other exercises so that you are really doing well and your questions, your queries are answered. Thank you and see you in the next video.